Hi, I'm Dan Harrison, business coach to healers, health coaches, and wellness practitioners. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can break bad habits that keep you broke in 89 days or less by reprogramming your subconscious mind so that you can finally start attracting wealth into your life without all the stress and struggle. And just in case you're thinking, this doesn't apply to me, or I already know what he's going to say, I want you to consider for a second that those thoughts right there might just be your identity trying to protect itself, because it knows that on some level, if you applied what I'm about to show you, that its days of keeping you broke are numbered. In my early 20s, I had a great opportunity to work with a great mentor of mine, Bob Proctor. And I worked with him as a life success consultant for 4 years. And during that time, I consumed all of his teachings. I went to his mastermind groups. I sold his products. And basically, I learned how to rewire and revamp my own subconscious mind and transform my identity, which has helped me go from making $8 an hour as a server to a six-figure online entrepreneur. And after years of working with Bob Proctor and learning from other experts in the field of psychology and the subconscious mind, I've taken all of that wisdom and broken it down into a system and a process and a tool that addresses and transforms the underlying root reasons that people remain stuck at a certain level financially. And in this video, I'm going to reveal my 5-step process and tool that you can use to start unlocking the power of your subconscious mind right away and start effortlessly creating more abundance, flow, and prosperity into your life. Why is it that so few people are able to actually create consistent and lasting wealth? What is an abundance mindset anyways? And why is it that no matter how many books you read on prosperity and creating an abundant mindset, nothing changes? Well, there are many bad habits that could be keeping you broke, but instead of addressing the bad habits themselves, like spending more than you earn, I'm going to share 3 subconscious reasons why most people are never able to change their financial results. Now, the first is a lack of awareness about their own money trauma, which just means they have unaddressed or unaltered limiting stories, blueprints, and beliefs about money that they inherited during their formative years from parents, family, and pop culture. Now, the second reason is an identity issue. It's a core belief in who they believe they are and what that person is actually capable of. And the third reason is they have no commitment or process to actually facilitate the reprogramming of their subconscious mind. Now, the good news is if you're struggling with a scarcity mindset that's keeping you broke, then I'm going to show you how to completely transform that thinking in the next 5 minutes so you can stop being stuck, broke, and playing small and become free, rich, and powerful. Okay, so let's dive in. Now, this process works best if you block off about an hour of time, put some music on, and get yourself into a relaxed state. It's not necessary, but it will help you gain access to your subconscious mind by placing your mind into a theta brainwave state. So the first step is to simply free write or use stream of consciousness writing. What is that? Well, basically, you take a blank piece of paper and a pen, and yes, use a pen and paper, not your computer, and just begin to write about your memories and past revolving around money. You can ask yourself questions like, when I was younger, what did I hear about money? Or when did I see money being used? Or what was the feeling in my household around money growing up? And just start writing and allow whatever is in your mind to flow out onto your paper. Write about it all the way up to the current day. Now, the trick is to not think about it too much and just let whatever comes up flow out onto the paper. You aren't publishing this piece of work anywhere, so don't worry about making it perfect. This is just for you to try and gain some insight into what is actually going on in there. Now, the second step is to look through your story for all the lessons that you've learned, and then you're going to rewrite that story. So find all the moments in your past that you can reframe. Pick a few areas of your money story and look for ways that things actually ended up perfect as a result of these challenging circumstances that may not have felt so great at the time. What have you learned that you could not have learned had you not experienced what you experienced in exactly that way as it relates to money? Now, I'm not asking you to completely switch your perspective on the difficult circumstances of your past, but I am asking you to take a slight angle and see if you can reframe the situation or circumstances and write a different story and a different narrative. Now, the third step is to storyboard your story. and frame it like a hero's journey. So what does that look like? Well, storyboarding is just like mapping out a movie where you would take out different scenes from your story that were these pivotal moments and just kind of put a visual storyboard together around your story as it relates to money. And this is basically putting a narrative. Right now you have a narrative going on inside your mind about money. And we're just going to rework it. We're going to reframe it. And so you're going to set yourself up in such a way where you're the hero of your own story. Wherever you're at right now, you can take the pieces of your past and position them in such a way that they've been setting you up for the glorious future that's just around the corner. And if you're looking for some context or a frame to do this storyboarding, Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey is literally the chart for every blockbuster movie that's ever been created, where there's a character who gets a call to adventure, crosses this threshold into the unknown, where all of the trials and failures and growth and changes happen, and then there's a return where he has grown, changed, and brings back a gift to the world from all of his journeys. But the point is that you want to frame yourself as the hero of the story. Like, what doesn't work anymore is no longer being a spectator of your life. You're the main character, and you can craft that character. And so that's what step number 3 is really about. Framing your story in such a way where you get to be the hero of your own story. So I'm going to just make this very tangible. I'm going to show you one of the storyboards that I created for myself in the past and how this looks and how it works. So I've actually, step number 4 and 5, I talk about how you can actually plant this into your subconscious mind. This is a visualization tool that I used every morning. But for the storyboarding element, it looks like this. You just kind of map out your life. So, I started at the keg. I tried to do a land development project. I went into debt. I became an investment advisor at Investors Group. I started training other advisors. I went back to school, became a CFP, launched this company. I got married, had a baby, launched my course, went back to school, and right here, started doing more videos and earned $100,000 in a month. Now, this is the transition. Everything up until that point is what has happened. But then what happens is you continue on with the storyboard and you start to map out your future and you make it a seamless process where we make $100,000 a month, and then we buy a house on the water and #1 best-selling book. We manage a bunch of assets and give money back to charity, and so on and so on. But it becomes the storyboard that is my life. It is the narrative that is going on inside my head because I listen to this thing every day. And that's the point, is step number 3 is all about choosing the narrative that's going to be playing in your mind around your story with money. Now, step number 4 is critical. Up until this point, what you've done is you've mapped out the story of your past up until present date. And you've also continued that storyboard off into the future. And you've put your goals on a timeline of how things are going to evolve. Now, when you map out your future goals, you also have to be thinking, this is the hero's journey. So you need to be thinking, who do you need to become in order to achieve those goals? Because the reality is the person that you have been, that you are up until this point, has taken you this far. But if you're going to want to achieve a new level and new goals that are bigger and will challenge you, you need to become bigger and you need to evolve into the next highest version of yourself. And so what you need to do is actually craft like a character sketch of who you need to become. And the more detailed you can get, the better. The way to think about this is actors. So when actors pick a role, they're given an identity. They're given a character to play. And these actors dive deep into this character. They know what this guy or girl eats for breakfast, what they wear, how they talk, if there's accents, what they look like. And I mean, just to give you an example, depending on the role, I mean, they even change their physical body. Jake Gyllenhaal, Simmons. This one is crazy. Like, this is kind of like an old guy, and then he's playing a new role. I think it was for Avengers. Anyway, totally jacked. So that's what these actors do, is they get into a frame of mind and they become that character. And so that's what step 4 is. It's crafting the character that you need to become. Now, the last step, inception. Once you have your storyboard and you have the hero or the character, the leading actor of this story dialed in, written out, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a keynote presentation like the one I showed you earlier. Just map out your storyboard and then record your voice telling the story and describing this character. You can put some music in the background if you want and create your own mind movie that you promise to listen to every morning and every night for 89 days, right before you wake and right when you go to sleep. Now, the reason that you do it right when you wake up and right when you sleep is because the brain is typically operating in one of 5 different brainwave frequencies or states. And essentially, there is gamma, which is a heightened perception, like super awake, learning, solving problems. Then there's beta, which is awake, alert, conscious. Alpha, so you're physically and mentally relaxed. Then there's theta, creativity, insight, deep meditative states this is the state that is conducive to influencing your subconscious mind with new programs. And you get into that state without any effort, right when you wake up and right when you go to bed. You can also induce that state with meditation. And then there's delta, which is deep sleep states. And this is how you change your deep subconscious habits and patterns. But it has to get down to the core, which essentially is an identity issue. All right, let's bring this training home. Now, everything that I've shared with you up until this point is incredibly powerful, but if you miss this part, this last kind of idea and concept, then the other pieces won't work. One of my favorite mentors, Wayne Dyer, he has a book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And while I believe that's true, it's a little bit surface level, because what really changes your life is when you change who you are. Not when you change who you are, when you get present to who you've always been. And when you connect with that and you change your identity and it aligns with your goals and the vision of the life that you're creating, that is when life changes. So I'm going to explain this in the form of an example. If you are a non-smoker and I ask you, did you smoke today? You would think I'm weird and you would feel unknown and you would wonder, why did you ask me that? I'm a non-smoker. At the identity level, you would identify as a non-smoker, and therefore your beliefs, your habits, your behaviors, they would all align from that core element of who you are, your identity. And the opposite is true if you were to say, I'm a smoker. Your beliefs, your behaviors would all stem from and align with that core identity of who you believe you are. When you change your identity, when you craft it, when you consciously choose it instead of just accepting what's been given to you, then from there, your beliefs and your core values will align with that identity. And from there, your habits and your competencies will change. And from there, your behaviors will change. And as a result, your environment, your results, everything else changes. But it has to be from a core identity level. Now, as powerful as this concept and this tool is, I hope that you use this. I hope that you have incredible results and that you commit to 89 days of just like rewriting your own story. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or a coach or a business owner, yes, getting your mindset right is the very first thing that you've got to do if you're going to be a successful business owner. But after you get the mindset nailed, you still have to get all the other pieces right. And so what you're looking at here is the Wealthy Healer Blueprint, and this is a map that I use when I'm working with my coaching clients. Now, after the mindset, those next 8 steps are: you need to have a great business plan. You need to understand your numbers and finances. You need to have a great offer. You need a website that acts as a salesperson. You need a funnel that automates most of your work. You need potent content. You need to be good at sales and you need to understand marketing. So yes, the mindset is important, but if you're a business owner, then you need all of these steps if you're going to be successful. So I just want to thank you for watching. And if you found this video helpful, then please like it, share it, subscribe, and so that you can know when I release the next piece of content that is ultimately designed to help health coaches and wellness practitioners build successful businesses so that they can heal more people. That's the mission that I'm on. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon and connect.